He didn't scream. He didn't confront her. He didn't beg, threaten, or expose her online. He simply watched his cheating girlfriend walk into their apartment and realize she no longer lived there. And by the time she understood what was happening, it was already too late. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, if you've ever wanted justice without drama, without shouting, without sinking to their level, then you're going to love this one. Hit like, subscribe, and get comfortable, because this is one of the cleanest, coldest revenge stories you'll ever hear. Betrayal doesn't usually arrive with fireworks. It slips in quietly. Soft footsteps, a subtle shift in tone, late nights explained away with lazy excuses. My buddy, let's call him Mark, was living with his girlfriend of several years. Not married, no kids, just a shared apartment, shared routines, shared plans for the future. At least, that's what he thought. Things hadn't been perfect. They were in one of those long, exhausting rough patches where conversations felt heavier than silence, where affection became optional, where you start wondering whether love is fading or just resting. Then one day, she told him she was visiting family, 600 kilometers away. A full week. A reset, she said. Space. Time to think. Mark kissed her goodbye, helped load her bag, watched her walk out the door, and trusted her. 3 days later, trust shattered. Mark was out running errands when he spotted something that didn't belong in his reality. Her, sitting on a restaurant patio, laughing, glowing. Across from her was her ex. Not a coworker, not a friend from the past, the ex, the one whose name had caused fights before, the one she swore was history. Mark didn't storm over, didn't yell, didn't cause a scene. He stood still, heart hammering against his ribs, fingers numb as his phone came out. Click. Another angle. Click. A short video. Proof. The kind of proof that ends conversations before they begin. She leaned across the table, touched his arm, the kind of touch reserved for people you care about. Mark felt something inside him shut off. Not anger, not yet. Clarity. He went home alone. That night, while she texted him about missing family and needing space, Mark was reading his lease. Month to month, 60 days notice required. And one very important detail, her name wasn't on it. That's when the plan began. He didn't confront her, didn't accuse her, didn't let on that he knew. Instead, he grew distant, calm, polite. He suggested couples therapy, not urgently, not emotionally, just enough to appear concerned. He stopped initiating intimacy, not that it mattered. She was suddenly busy, tired, or staying with friends overnight. Each excuse landed flat. Each lie stacked neatly on top of the last. Mark said 2 words every time. Okay. Behind the scenes, he was preparing. He gave his landlord his 60-day notice, explained everything. The landlord, thankfully, was a solid guy, kept quiet, agreed to show the apartment only when she was at work or with her affair partner. New tenants lined up quickly. The walls were already echoing with goodbye. Weeks passed. She returned from her family trip, relaxed and glowing, acting as if nothing had happened. She didn't notice the way Mark stopped planning ahead, stopped arguing, stopped caring. People mistake silence for weakness. They forget silence can be strategy. Moving day came quietly. Early morning. A knock at the door. She was still half asleep when the hired moving crew walked in. Boxes, tape, clipboards. Confusion flickered across her face. "What's going on?" she asked. Mark didn't raise his voice, didn't insult her. He calmly placed the photos on the table, one by one. The patio, the laughter, her hand on her ex's arm. The color drained from her face. Words failed her. That's when the landlord stepped in. He informed her, professionally, politely, that since she was not on the lease, she had until midnight to remove her belongings. New tenants were moving in within days. Anything left behind would be placed on the curb. She looked around the apartment. The couch? Marks. The bed? Marks. The TV? The shelves? The tables? All his. Her world shrank to a pile of clothes and toiletries stacked in the center of the room. She cried. She argued. She begged. Mark stood there, calm, distant, finished. No shouting, no insults, just consequences. As the movers worked around her, Mark snapped one last photo, her life reduced to a heap of fabric and plastic. Then he walked out. She thought she was in control, thought she could lie, cheat, and return home like nothing happened. Instead, she lost her home in a single morning. No screaming match, no public humiliation, just reality delivered cleanly and legally. Mark didn't destroy her things, didn't expose her online, didn't seek revenge through cruelty. He simply removed himself and everything that came with him, and that hurt more than any argument ever could. Revenge doesn't always mean fire and chaos. Sometimes it's quiet, measured, earned. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is let someone feel the full weight of their own choices. If this story satisfied something deep inside you, hit that like button. Subscribe for more real, chilling revenge stories. And tell me in the comments, what's the coldest, calmest revenge you've ever witnessed? Because the quiet ones are always the most unforgettable.